What about NFTs that are released on the Ethereum chain?
Same exact code.
So now wait a second, so that takes away the rarity of NFTs.
Aww.
Is that a yes? No, I don't mind. Is that a yes?
And their users might sue the heck out of them.
Yeah.
For jacking them of the money that they could have been worth.
Yeah.
Who knows? This is really crazy, really interesting stuff.
How long do people have to claim their tokens? Oh, to move their tokens. Welcome to this special interview with Richard Hart. You know the man. He's been here for a few times. We're going to talk about so much stuff. Richard, welcome, man. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you doing this again, man. What is Pulse?
So Ethereum, it's pretty cool. A ton of coins have launched on it. A ton of coins operate on it. Now, the problem with blockchains are once they fill up, they're not good anymore. Ethereum filled up. A couple months ago, it was $300 to do a Uniswap swap, $100 to send an ERC20, $50 to send Ethereum. None of those numbers is okay. None of them. And even today, the fees, even in the bear market, are still too high. So applications built on Ethereum that may use more gas than some, they no longer can function. No one can afford to use them. So Pulse Chain is a fork of Ethereum that has the exact same or nearly identical system state, which means that if you have ERC20s on Ethereum, you will now have those ERC20s on Pulse Chain, except they'll be called PRC20s just to make it easier to tell on what chain they are. If you have Ethereum, you're going to get free Pulse. Now, if you don't move your Pulse to a new address, it's going to get deducted again. It's freemium. You're going to have it for a while, and then it's getting taken back. Now, if you want to keep it, you don't want to get the value removed again, you got to move it to another address. Because we're not rewarding people for apathy. We're only rewarding people that are, I guess you can say the ERC20 guys will be rewarded for apathy because there's no like take back for that stuff. So I guess some ERC20 guys are going to get a free ride. And there's other breakthroughs. So it's the world's largest airdrop that's ever occurred. Re-enable use cases that were priced out. We're going to lower Ethereum's fees by removing load from it. We also are going to save the environment because right now Ethereum harms the environment to mine transactions using proof of work. We get rid of the proof of work. We use proof of stake. We're beating Ethereum 2.0 to market with better software than Ethereum 2.0. If Ethereum 2.0 ever launches, people are going to lose millions of dollars to bugs. People have already lost millions of dollars to bugs in Ethereum, and we figured out what to fix, and we fixed it. And now you much less often hear about bugs from code. You hear about rug pulls all the time, and you hear about you still hear about some people using it wrong, but it's because they're using it wrong. It's not because the core code has problems.
Yeah.
So the battle tested Ethereum code is the most tested code that's out there for smart contracts and EVM. So, let's use that battle tested code. Let's stop destroying the environment. Let's give everyone 10,000 free new coins. Let's re-enable the priced out use cases. And then the staking, the proof of stake, is built in a better way. So in Ethereum 2.0, you have to have 32 Ethereum to be a validator, which is $64,000. And you've just bought yourself a full-time job. You need to run a server with good connectivity. And if a cosmic ray hits your CPU and flips a bit, you lose money. If you have downtime, you lose money. And so you bought yourself a job for 64 grand. So what does everyone do? They do the opposite of why crypto was invented, and they give their money to a middleman, a counterparty, someone else, and they go, you do the mining for me. You do the validating for me. And we've already seen 100,000 Ethereum get lost that way. That's $200 million. We've seen $200 million get lost because they literally just lost the private keys. They lost the private keys. That's what they say. Maybe they stole it, but they say they lost it. Wow, that's a bad design. You know that design is going to introduce centralization. You know it, and that's the opposite of why crypto was invented. It was invented to get rid of centralization and middlemen and people losing their money and counterparty risk. It's disgusting. So Pulse Chain does it better. You just delegate your stake to somebody else. You can change who you're delegating it to once per day, and then you get a percentage of what they make in their fees. And on top of that, there's no inflation. Ethereum has inflation. Ethereum 2.0 has inflation, I think, if I remember correctly. And then, where does the staking or validation rewards come from, right? It comes from inflation. So in our system, there's no inflation. There's deflation. the coins get burnt. 25% of the fees get burnt. And so it's better for the environment. It's got better price performance due to a better design. It introduces less centralization. It proves Ethereum. Our developers have already committed code to the main Geth Ethereum client, which is 90% of the Ethereum network. And those exchanges have already been rolled in. And it's likely that that will continue to happen, because open source means that people have to make the code better. And there's only 5 guys working on Geth. Well, it's a good thing my guys are here to help, because we're going to make Ethereum better and we're going to make Pulse Chain better. And everyone's going to win together. It's beautiful.
So who got free coins? I heard something. Anybody that had MetaMask, or is it?
Well, it's everybody on the Ethereum network. Everybody, absolutely.
In any wallet.
So if let's say you've got some Hex, now you're going to have Hex on Ethereum network and on the Pulse network. Let's say you've got some Hex stakes, which I know you do. Now you're going to have Hex stakes on the Ethereum network and the Pulse network.
Oh, cool.
And then the market is going to decide which ones are valuable, which ones are more valuable, which ones are less valuable. And there's some really exciting things that are going to happen. For instance, stablecoin. Tether was fractionally reserved when the Polish government seized $600 million from their Polish bank account. Didn't lose its peg, still held $1. So we have proof and evidence that stablecoins can hold their peg when they're fractionally reserved. And so the question is, how fractional can that reserve be and they still hold their peg? What about a zero reserve? What about no redeemability at all? Will that work? And I'll tell you a funny story. And this will really, really get you thinking. There's this thing called Unisocks. So the founders of Uniswap, for fun, printed socks with Uniswap written on them. And they're called Unisocks. And they just made a pair with Ethereum in the socks. And they were trading against each other. And so guess what happens? They're interchangeable. You can exchange socks for Ethereum. You can exchange Ethereum for socks in the Uniswap pair. Ethereum price goes up 20x.
Yeah.
Makes the socks $40,000 a pair.
That's insane. It's the most expensive socks in the world, probably.
Now, knowing that that mechanic exists now that you've seen $40,000 socks, I wonder what these non-redeemable stablecoins will be worth. I don't think it'll be zero unless the admins use their admin keys to invalidate them all. And then their users might sue the heck out of them for jacking them of the money that they could have been worth. Yeah. Who knows? This is really crazy, really interesting stuff.
Where and when do you see your Pulse?
Well, you need to wait for the mainnet to exist.
Okay.
So right now, there's 2 ways to get points. You can give money to charity for medical research to the SENS Foundation, sens.org. They are a registered 501c3 in the United States, and they are a registered charity in the UK. And they've got partners in Canada and some countries in Europe that will allow you to donate to their affiliated charities, and the money will end up with SENS. Right now, for every dollar value, time-weighted dollar value that you sacrifice, you get 10,000 points, and 1 point equals a pulse, basically, is the plan. Now, tomorrow, that rate, it takes 5% more to get the same 10,000. So you're gonna have to have sacrificed 5% more dollar equivalent in order to get the same 10,000. And then the next day, it's another 5%.
Do people send it to an ERC20 address?
You don't need to move your ERC20s. They're not going to get taken back.
I'm confused. I thought you said you were going to get taken back if you don't move them.
The Pulse, yes.
The Pulse.
But the ERC20 is not.
Where do you send your Pulse to? A Pulse address or an Ethereum address?
You make a new. So Ethereum. So basically, Pulse is taking the role of Ethereum. So if you were on the Ethereum network and you wanted to move your Ethereum to a new address, you'd go to MetaMask, you'd click add an account, you would copy the address, and then you'd click send on the other one, and you send it over, and you just do the same thing on Pulse.
Okay.
Except you're on the Pulse network instead of the Ethereum network.
Right. So somebody would create a Pulse network wallet on MetaMask and send everything there, or it doesn't matter?
Well, you have to understand, your keys will access your coins on both networks. So you're using the same MetaMask, you're using the same keys, you have the same coins with very few exceptions. And so you just choose what network you're on. Yeah. And if you want to move your coins around on Ethereum, choose Ethereum mainnet. If you want to move your coins around on Pulse, choose the Pulse network that you added.
No, but that was my question. My question was, and bear with me, I have 1 Ethereum. in MetaMask.
You're gonna have
And now
one
he has
Pulse.
one Ethereum on Pulse as well. Again, it might be people are going to be asking this, Richard,
your
and I have
time.
to try and explain.
Yeah.
So he has to move his Ethereum, if you will, all right, onto a new address. That new address, is it an ERC20 address or a PRC20 address, or does it not matter?
It's none of those things.
So now,
So sure. So let's say you're on the Ethereum network. Pulse doesn't exist.
okay,
Just Ethereum. And I say, you know what, Paul? I'm going to give you one Ethereum. But in 30 days, I'm taking that Ethereum back. And if you want to keep it, it better not be there to take back.
mm-hmm.
And so you make a new Ethereum address and send all of the Ethereum that you had in that other account to your new address. And now, when I go to take that Ethereum back, it's not there.
Okay.
And you get to keep it because you put it in a new address.
Got you. So it
It's
doesn't
that,
matter. It's just move
except
it.
on Pulse.
Okay.
It's the same thing, except now you're on the Pulse network, and what would have been called Ethereum is now called Pulse.
Can someone add, or will someone be able? Okay, how would someone go to the Pulse chain on their MetaMask, for example? Is that something that's coming out or something already out?
Well, no, this is already built into. So MetaMask is designed to be multi-network, and
Okay,
it already
gotcha.
supports many networks, and people use MetaMask on many networks. So you just click the top. I don't have MetaMask installed here, but you just click the top network thing that says like Ethereum main,
Yeah.
and then you can go to Rinkeby and the other test nets, and then you can go to custom, and you click custom,
Yeah.
and you're going to paste stuff in there. You're going to paste a new block explorer, a new chain ID, and a new URL,
Yeah, of course.
and then it's going to try and submit transactions to
Is that
new
ready?
network.
Is that already
it.
out, or that will that be out?
Well, the code was just released today.
Right.
And so if you want to compile the code and run it, then you can run your own test nets now and connect to your own local Ethereum network fork, basically. So you can run the code now and start building and testing now and connect to it locally. But the actual like public test net is not up yet.
Okay.
The server infrastructure is being deployed for that as we speak. And that's the next thing the dev team is working on. So
How long do people have to claim their tokens or to move their tokens?
well, for Pulse, 30 days, but for everything else, forever.
Pulse will be will Pulse be tradable? Like, can it trade on an
Sure.
exchange or on Uniswap?
Well,
or
so what is ideal is that Pulse and all of the tokens on the Pulse network launch at zero value, because in some countries, citizens are taxed on their income. And in some countries, income is derived of when you have dominion and control and the ability to sell and profit from a thing. And therefore, having a thing arrive into your dominion and control at zero value is really wonderful, because then your appreciation can be capital gains if ever you sell, and not, hey, give me money now stuff. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, not a professional investment advisor, any of those things. Go do your own research, but this is the best of my understanding. Yeah, now, when the network is up and a little time has passed, a bridge will be instantiated, which will allow you to move things from Ethereum to Pulse. Once that bridge is there, because that bridge touches real world dollars, you're going to be able to get to real world dollars through Ethereum, whether or not any exchange ever lists anything on the Pulse network is irrelevant.
What about NFTs that are released on the Ethereum chain?
Same exact code.
So now so wait a second. So that takes
Very
away the
little
rarity
changes.
of NFTs.
Aww.
Is that a yes? No, I don't mind. Is that a yes?
It's hard to say. It really, it's a question of.
It might be a second one with a little bit lower value. It's interesting.
No one knows.
This is
Never happened
insane.
before. Yeah.
This is really
No one
huge.
knows.
This is like,
It's a big deal.
it's a turning point.
Yeah.
It's gonna be historical, Richard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
It
historical.
is.
What happens to NFTs that are gonna be gasless ones? Okay, but the ones that release on and suddenly you suddenly have CryptoPunks on Pulse. This might
Two
be a
networks,
second
yeah.
chance as well.
It is going to be wild.
What about BSC chain? That has nothing to do with it because it's not an Ethereum blockchain, right?
It is. It is. Ethereum Binance Smart Chain is very similar to Pulse Chain. Very, very similar.
So will you
Some
also
of the
get like?
differences are,
Oh my God! Tell me we're gonna have more safe moons on Pulse and everything now. I'm not gonna be hearing the end of it. Really? Oh my God! Come on, Richard. What have you done? You just killed everything right now. I get too much of Safe Moon already, man.
well, now you'll have SafeMoon on 2 chains.
Oh no!
Someone should have a shout out to the rapper 2 Chains and tell him, hey,
2 chains.
Richard
Yeah.
Hart is making the, you're going to get coins on 2 chains. So here's the issue. There are coins that are going to be, in my opinion, more valuable in Pulse. If you have fake DeFi with admin key crap and you have an admin that really actually controls everything and you just beg him to not take the front end down and steal all the money or whatever, then who knows what chain that guy's going to pick if you have fake DeFi, right? And that's very common. It's very, very, very common. And then we don't know what value the stables are going to have. Maybe algorithmic stables are worth more because the algorithms are intact. Maybe the ones that have admin keys and aren't really cryptocurrencies, they're just corporate databases on the blockchain. Maybe those are worth less. I don't know. And then as far as, so here's the difference between Pulse and BSC. BSC was a fork of Ethereum that did not introduce its own native currency. It used one that already existed called BNB, which uses a different chain called Binance Chain. Binance Chain and Binance Smart Chain have nothing in common. They're 2 different chains. So here's the problem with that. That means that there's twice the attack surface or more because you have to run 2 chains instead of 1. And so we fixed that. We have 1 chain.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have twice the attack surface. Smarter. They don't actually burn coins. The BNB company, with their admin keys, chooses to burn coins sometimes, and they're stopping doing that soon. In our system, the coins get burnt by the software, not humans, and it continues forever. It doesn't stop, and it burns 25% of the fees. That's superior game mechanics. And we bring over system state. So whereas BSC launched empty and enriched copycats, so instead of BSC launching with state, they, instead of enriching the Uniswap holders by putting Uniswap on another chain and giving them Uniswap tokens and letting them perhaps, if they want to, turn on their admin key and reap rewards, they chose to make a copycat chain. And then instead of the original founders of Uniswap making money, all the copycat knockoffs got to get rich. So PancakeSwap comes along, copy pastes Uniswap, gets rich. Uniswap founders get nothing. It's less fair. It's less ideal. And so Pulse Chain rewards the original founders that deserve it, whereas these chains that launch empty rewards copycats, and usually the copycats do a worse job. Usually.
What will be the max supply? This if 1.16 trillion or 10K Ethereum supply for every $1 sacrifice, you get 10,000.
Well, the max supply isn't yet known because it increases as people sacrifice more. So the larger the USD value of the sacrifices, the higher the supply will be. And then once that phase is over, we will know a max supply. And there's some little variables like, the bot that's going to go fix the AMM ratios that I estimated at about 2.5%. 2.5% of what? We don't know the big number yet. So you're going to know basically what the supply is going to be once the sacrifice phase is complete. And you've done all the math for which people got bonuses and how big and all that stuff. And you got to do it across a bunch of chains. It might take 30 days to do that math because beating the information out of these chains is a little bit hard. Might be able to get it done in 5, might be able to get it done at 10, but actually knowing how many people participated in the sacrifice phase in some chains is very hard because the tooling for these chains is garbage.
So will we be able to trade our Pulse for other Pulse chain coins before the bridge?
Probably. You probably will be able to do that, yes. Because I would like to have the bridge come later just to make sure everyone locks in that 0 value. Okay, you got Dominion and Control, but you couldn't sell it for anything. It didn't have any value. Sweet. Let's make sure that everybody knows that's how it was. Couldn't sell them for nothing. We got that locked in. okay, now people can do other cool stuff, you know?
So on Pulse, you can now sacrifice Avalanche, Binance Chain, Binance Smart Chain, BSC, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin. Did you hear that, Diaz? Yeah, okay. EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Polygon, Ripple, Stellar Network, Tron, and Zcash. I really wish
And
you added more coins that I want to get out of, which I can't.
well, on those pairs, so for instance, on Ethereum,
Yeah.
you can get rid of Uni and Maker and wrapped Bitcoin and
Anything like that, yeah.
like a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of different coins supported, and I need to publish a list of like assets on TRX that are supported as well. So right now it's just like TRX, the native token, but they also have coins on there that may have liquidity. So like maybe they should be able to be sacrificed as well.